Maybe there are photos of Grandma Iris. Dad said while flipping, "Come on, get ready for your surprise." "Actually, I came here to chat about Mother Iris, although I know you're not her biggest fan." But Stephen wouldn't listen. He arrived like a rocket, no time for cousins' greetings. He zoomed right over to Uncle, eagerly diving into the nightmare stories about Grandma, leaving Uncle speechless. Technically, Stephen shouldn't know any of this. After all the grandkids are convinced Grandma is off on a wild adventure, but actually she didn't. After Grandpa passed, Grandma lost her connection to reality and locked her kids up, including Stephen's mom. And then the government stepped in like, "We got your emergency call," and took the kids away. But the saga wasn't over, and Uncle climbed up tightly, resembling a newspaper office, determined not to break the story under any circumstances. Left with no choice, Stephen turned to Ad, who, seeing her niece on the verge of tears, softened up and revealed the letter's hiding spot like unwrapping a present. Stephen spotted old photos of Grandma that looked just like his dreams. Talk about DJ Current's assigned view. Following the address, he boldly set off, landing in a place so remote it felt like he stumbled into adventurous wilderness. It was virtually a place cut off from the rest of the world, akin to being at the edge of the known universe. Stopping in front of an oddly shaped building evoked the very essence of a scene from Naked Fool, with the sensation that traps and mechanisms were lurking everywhere, sending shivers down one's spine. The eaves were adorned with what looked like triangular decorations. Talk about dangerous beauty. Grandma recognized her granddaughter right away, feeling like an unexpected reunion. She recounted her nightmare like a horror film, floors cracking, gas exploding, guests falling. Years ago, she had a spooky experience of witnessing death arrive instantly, yet still found herself on top of the tower. Everything looked so familiar, and the waitress somehow mirrored the proposal scene from her dreams. Suddenly, she spotted the coin that triggered the disaster. That coin indirectly caused a series of disasters. She raced onto the stage like a superhero, trying to warn everyone that the glass beneath was about. She was so flustered her face turned bright red, not even noticing the big grin stuck to her face, a total comedic fail. Meanwhile, she had a big face stuck to her face while the glass was about to crack, living life like it's a comedy show. Beneath her, glass cracked, guests danced like circus acts, ready for escape. Even though security whisked her away, the guests noticed the glass actually starting to crack. What a heroic moment that saved the crowd. Those who were destined to perish in the disaster instead witnessed the shutdown of the restaurant and the demolition of the entire building. This seemed like a hide-and-seek enthusiast, always lurking and ready to make a comeback at any moment. However, Grandma seemed to earn a survival pass through a series of mishaps and carefully navigated to the present. 2 months ago, she quietly received a terminal cancer diagnosis right when Stephen's nightmares began. What bizarre force passed down this eerie premonition through generations? No one has a clue. Grandma knew she needed to pass on her survival manual and invited her granddaughter for a professional family workshop. She invited her to stay in the super safe house, but suggesting death is coming was a bit much for the average Joe. Stephen wasn't having any of it, so he just turned to leave. Grandma chased after him, but was spooked by noises coming from the disturbances around her sent her into a state of extreme panic. But for the sake of her family's safety, she still made up her mind and advanced courageously like a brave knight. You still don't believe me? Just look back, you shall believe. Seeing is believing. As Grandma took that step, it filled us with profound emotions. Stephen's estranged mother suddenly popped back for the funeral, arriving at just the right time. Stephen didn't feel much for her, but all he could think was, does this family really have to become a shadow of death simply because Grandma left? Are they destined to be swept up in the whirlpool of death? He opened Grandma's book and discovered the notorious coin that should have caused disaster, followed by graphics and illustrations like a death handbook. From these illustrations, the protagonists of Final Destination seemed descendants of the opening guest. Grandma did some undercover sleuthing. Just then, a frame fell, with a shard of glass sipping right in front of him. Feeling the danger, Stephen swiftly zoomed home like lightning, avoiding bad luck at all costs. However, at that moment, Uncle was throwing a cheerful family gathering. No one could hear the phone ringing. Warm parties were clearly Death's favorite playground. Cousin smashed a glass, and while cleaning up, he accidentally left a tiny shard that fell right into the drink with some ice. Who would end up with that drink? After the toast, Cousin suddenly felt queasy and started coughing. Cough, wait, are you okay? You sure you're fine? Oh my, what's that little thing in there? The drink spilled out, and thankfully it wasn't anything too wild. No, come on. Red Harris, hurry up. Harris, come here, over here. Harris, you're absolutely the best. Right, we're starting. Be careful. Wait, stop. Thankfully, Stephen's mom caught the sharp nail gun just in time. She put it back safely, but Death was definitely not in a stopping mood. Aunt casually knocked over a beer bottle, triggering the next chaos. Just then, Stephen arrived on the scene. On the surface, everything appeared serene, but in reality, Death had already set a series of traps quietly in motion.